What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103, and welcome back to another reaction video where today we're gonna be reacting to Kool-Aid's video on how Nico Williams will fit into Barcelona. Of course, the hype now is very real, and it's at an all-time high right now in Nico Williams following the transfer speculation. And today we're gonna be looking at on the actual pitch factor into why Nico Williams will have that great impact and can take Barcelona to that next level. Of course, the other video I'll give you guys my thoughts, my analysis, and my opinion as well. But before we get into it, of course, make sure you guys smash the like button down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and check out the original channel, and links are all in the description below. And let's get right into it.
So Nico Williams might actually become a cool M. I know you've been all waiting forever for this transfer, and now things are getting real. We're talking major, maybe even fateful developments. Nico's agent is in Barcelona, and the player himself has already had a phone call with Hansi Flick. And just to stir the pot even more, Lamine Yamal dropped an epic Instagram story, which honestly feels like a massive
He knew what he was
hint.
doing there, Lamine.
All of this is exploding across global media and social media right now. Today we're breaking down everything going on with Nico Williams Jr.'s potential move to Barca, and why this transfer could be a total game changer for the upcoming season. But before we begin, like the video if you're happy with the news. Thank you. So what has already happened? Let me break it down for you. It all started with Sport.is journalist Carlos Monfort. He was the first to blow up this transfer bomb. Then came Fabrizio, and off it went. The player's agent Felix Teinta initiated a meeting with Deco in one of Barcelona's hotels. The goal of the meeting is obvious: to find out if the sides can agree on the transfer of the explosive winger this summer. Everyone remembers the story from last summer when Nico demanded guarantees for the registration of his contract. And that's exactly why Barca switched to Dani Olmo, who was ready to...
I mean, that's not exactly why, but he also wasn't willing to sign as well. He made the choice that not only the registration, but also he wanted to stay one more year with Bilbao, the Europa League, all that sort of stuff at this MMS. It was not just totally down to, oh, you can't guarantee me registration, let's go with Daniel Olmo, because he's saying we can gamble with him, no problem. That's not really the case per se, but I can understand where she's coming from.
Without any conditions. Williams Jr. has offers from Bayern and Arsenal, who are ready to activate his €62 million release clause, as Sport reports. The Munich side are especially active. They've already held 2 meetings with the player's agent, who's currently on vacation. Nico also has another path: to sign a new contract with Bilbao, and such an offer already exists. So what does this meeting actually mean? According to journalists and football bloggers, a clear message can be seen here. Nico only wants Barcelona, and that's his priority. This time Nico doesn't need any guarantees. He's completely open to the move.
And that's why I think that last summer, a lot of it, I wouldn't say most of it, but a good chunk of it had to do with the Europa League final being at the MMS. He wanted to do that. He wanted to be there for his, boyhood club to win a European trophy with them in their home stadium. I think that had more weight on his decision than a lot of people think. I remember his brother as well in the media who saying like, "Oh, just stay one more year. We gotta try and do this for the club, and after that, you can do as you please. You can make your decision, so to speak." So I think that had a lot of impact on top of the registration. Now, of course, with the registration, now he's saying, "I'll wait and do whatever." It's definitely now going to be, helping his case a lot more.
Gerard Romero reported that besides the meeting between the player's agent and Barca sporting director, there was a conversation between Hansi Flick and Nico Williams.
What language?
This shows that Barcelona seems to have made its decision and is ready to bet on Nico. Lately, Barca had been downplaying their interest in Nico publicly. In particular, this is what Laporta said at the end of May. "We valued Nico as a potential signing last summer with Dani Olmo, but right now I think the club is valuing other players."
Like I said, Laporta is one emotional guy. He really likes it when people come and twerk for him instead of him having to twerk. Of course, he will twerk if needs be, but when players come to him, he loves it. Of course, after last summer, what was the saying? They told Nico Williams, the train only comes by once. And he definitely meant that from his perspective, because Barcelona here never went and approached Nico Williams. They just saw him as, a cool option. They were twerking for Luis Diaz, Marcus Rashford. The only reason why we're really in for him again and everyone's getting excited and happy is because he made the first move. So this time, Nico Williams brought the train to Laporta instead of him bringing the chain. So his statement still makes sense, and you can see that afterwards how he kind of played that off a little bit, that he wasn't really going to go back in from ever. But the one way was that if Nico made the first move, and that one way ended up happening.
But As it turned out, this was a strategy, working on the transfer behind the scenes and using other names in public to do the work quietly. For example, Luis Diaz, Marcus Rashford, Ademola Lookman, and others. But I first noticed an interesting detail during the final stages of the Nations League. Alfredo Martinez reported that Laporte came to the final of the tournament. One of the goals talks with Nico Williams. The final, Portugal versus Spain, took place on the 8th of June, and already on the 11th of June, sport journalist Quim Casademun, who works with Gerard Romero, posted the following on Twitter. The player spoke with people close to the board and Laporte decided to forgive him. I already mentioned this a few days ago. Nico is discreet and the president likes him. His release clause is active. He's in the best position to join the club and it could happen sooner rather than later. And now we have this big news that could finalize Nico's move to Barca. Now let's discuss how this transfer will boost Barcelona and Nico's career. Strengthening the left winger position is one of the club's priorities for this transfer window. The club analyzed the team's performances last season and came to a logical conclusion. Lamine and Rafinha played way too many matches, and Ansu Fati isn't at the level of a club that wants to win every trophy. Accordingly, everything that's happening now is interconnected. The club is clearing salary space for next season. The contract with Clement...
Just to know that the agreement that we do have right now with Nico Williams on 12 million gross is less than what Ansu Fati currently earns as well. So we can, hopefully get rid of the majority of Ansu Fati's wages. Nico will come in on a cheaper deal in terms of that. So that's, of course, a massive surplus in our favor.
Terminated by mutual agreement. According to Mundo Deportivo, this saved the club 32 million euros over the next 2 seasons.
Ciao, Clem.
Now the French center-back has fully joined Atletico Madrid and Barcelona has gained the ability to sign new players. Ansu Fati's transfer to Monaco is at the final stage, and that's another important indicator that things are happening. Among other important news, Barcelona is finalizing the signing of Juan Garcia, and this will most likely mean a farewell to Ter Stegen. This swap will also allow the club to save a bit of salaries. And there are also possible sales of the following players. Bournemouth and Wolverhampton are interested in Gerard Martin. The club is ready to sell the left back for 12 million euros. Pau Victor and Pablo Torre could also change clubs this summer. Iñaki Peña is almost 100% leaving the club. Andreas Christensen has an offer from Al Nassr. This holds Nico's transfer and will help register the contract of the Athletic and Spain national team player. Williams Jr. will definitely become a super important player for Barcelona, one of the stars who will lead the club to the treble. Fans, of course, already want more and hint at another perfect transfer, the signing of Julian Alvarez from Atletico
we gotta chill the Julian push.
It will be a huge topic next summer when Lewandowski leaves Barca. Now let's be realistic. If the first team this summer gets Juan Garcia, Nico Williams, and Alex Grimaldo, then that would be the perfect transfer.
Oh my god. That is right there the definition of a perfect summer for Barcelona. 3 signings, couple outs, you reinforce the 3 positions that probably need the most depth. Of course, the midfield is fine. Attacking option with Varane and Lua, you can survive one more season. This is the perfect summer. I see a lot of people say, oh, Spanish players, which I understand, but if you can give me, a player that's as good as any of these 3 that are not Spanish, I'd happily be open to it. But this, for me, is the definition of a perfect summer. All 3 of them release clauses. Nico for 16, Grimaldo for 20, Joel Garcia for 25. You're looking at 105 million total. You can definitely, make some sales as well, 1 or 2, hopefully, and that would definitely balance the book to at least a around 90 million euro net spending summer, which is absolutely perfect. And this is the dream I think that everyone has, and hopefully the club can execute it. At least we can execute Joel Garcia plus one of these 2, and hopefully that plus 1 being Nico. But these 3, all these 3 would be leveling up this team beyond belief.
Window for Barca. Nico will give the team versatility. He can play both on the left and the right, and Barca's starting 11 can always be a surprise for opponents. This could be the following options. Basic one, Nico, Rafinha, Lamine with left.
She makes a great point here as well, that you get a surprise team. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, if we're signing Nico Williams, you have to put Rafinha in the 10, right? For the season he has to be a starter, which is fine, but Nico is coming in to provide coverage and competition for both Lamine and Rafa. You're not supposed to, makeshift and put Rafa in the middle and have all 3 of them, right? But then again, you have players like Dani Olmo, Fermin Lopez on the bench who can play that 10 that will definitely challenge Rafinha. And if Rafinha's playing well and Nico's not playing well, you shift Rafinha about, back on the left-hand side. But I think, boom, if Lua's not playing well, you could put Rafa false 9, Dani Olmo false 9. So that front four can shift and change so much. I think only Nico and Lamine are really honed in on their positions per se, not their spots in the team. I think Lamine probably. But I think Nico can only play on the left, Lamine can only play on the right for now. But Dani, Fermin, Rafa can all interchange. Same with Ferran Torres as well. So it's always going to be surprised, and we'll wait and see what the best balanced team is. I think right now in the mock lineups from all the editors and Barca fans, they have Rafinha in the 10, but I still think that low-key it might still be Lamine, Dani Olmo, Nico Williams / Rafinha as that front three. Because I just think if Dani Olmo can stay fit, he's going to be that 10. There's no doubt in my mind. He's a much better 10 than Rafa. But of course, if he's not fit in and out of the team, Rafa's continuity will have a massive advantage in his chances.
He's a central striker. A PSG-style formation,
There you go.
Nico Olmo Lamine with Rafinha playing the false 9. A sensational option where Lamine's role is
I don't think we'll see Lamine.
Nico Olmo,
I don't think we'll see
Rafinha,
that.
and Lamine Yamal in the Messi role. Also, don't forget there's Fermin Lopez and Ferran Torres. They'll also combine well with Nico. The potential transfer of Nico Williams to Barcelona could be one of the most impactful signings of the summer, not just for the immediate boost, but for the tactical and structural balance he brings to the squad. Here's a breakdown of what he can add and why this move makes sense. Nico Williams is a true touchline winger, something Barcelona have lacked on the left since Neymar's peak.
I saw a stat. She makes a great point there again. I saw a stat that the last left winger Barcelona signed was Neymar, which is mind-boggling. Of course, Dembouz, he's a right winger. He played on the left. Coutinho, who signed as a midfielder, he played on the left. Gariba, who signed as like a center forward, he played on the left. We haven't signed a true natural left winger since Neymar, which, we're talking like 12 years ago at this point. Like, it is that astounding. Of course, we had Ansu from the academy as well. We had other academy players playing in that position. So this will be, if we do pull this off, we will definitely sign a left winger this summer. So when we do that, it'll be the first natural left winger that we've signed since Neymar.
The sidelines and isolates defenders 1v1. Can stretch low blocks, creating space in central areas for Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Rafinha, Dani Olmo, or Fermin. With Nico wide left and Lamine wide right, Barca can regain natural dual win width, opening up the entire pitch. Nico is among the top dribblers in La Liga, combining explosive acceleration with technical footwork. He wins fouls, creates mismatches, and breaks defensive shape. In transition, he's devastating, perfect for counterattacks, which Flick might use very often. Last season, 5 goals and 11 assists in La Liga. His crossing and cutbacks are improving,
numbers as Fermin,
ideal for a striker like Lewandowski or Fermin arriving late. Still not clinical in front of goal, but at 21, there's time to sharpen decision-making. Nico allows rotation without losing attacking thrust. Flick favors vertical, intense, counter-pressing football. Nico fits this like a glove. High-intensity presser, direct, aggressive in transition, smart positioning of the ball. There's one important aspect of this possible transfer that few people notice. Nico's move will improve Barca's defense. Yes, you heard right. If a winger who hogs the touchline and likes receiving the ball to feed plays on the left side, it means Balde's overlap and runs will be less frequent and less urgent. Therefore, in negative transitions or counterattacks,
they'll still be there though,
closer to his position and able to react on time, either pressing the opponent or closing off the zone.
The left-hand side of Nico and Balde sounds absolutely orgasmic, man. I mean, oh my, I'm sitting here watching this reaction video, drooling of what could be a potential team in Barcelona.
Nico
like, oh my
Williams
god.
To Barcelona is a smart, forward-looking transfer. He offers verticality, width, defensive structure, and youthful energy, all while complementing the emerging golden boy Lamine Yamal. If the price is manageable and the project is built with intention, Nico could be a decade-long solution on the left wing. Nico's transfer would mean that the club has decided to build the team around Lamine Yamal. He is the main advocate of this move.
That is a good point, yeah.
Deco,
which would be
as we know,
probably
wants
obvious.
Luis Diaz, and Juan Laporta wants Rafael Leao, but both transfers are too expensive. Nico Williams' move to Barcelona is a very good sign. There will be explosive synergy between talent and friendship in the team. This could be a very successful and long-term project with a Spanish core and La Masia accent. Williams Jr. will easily integrate into the team because he has many friends in Barcelona. First of all, of course, Lamine. He also has great relationships with Balde, Olmo, Gavi, Pedri, Barca, Ferran Torres, Fermin. These are the players
Just
who
name all the
regularly
Spanish
lead
players,
in the
which is
Spanish
not wrong
national
though. Still,
team. So there should be no problems with adaptation. No matter how you look at this transfer, everyone wins. Nico will get the new challenge he so desired and play with one of his best friends. Barcelona will get a top player not for all the money in the world who will perform a key function this season, strengthen the current roster and take the team to the next level. Now look at Barca's attacking options for next season. It really looks dangerous. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Nico Williams, Fermin Lopez, Dani Olmo and Ferran Torres. With this roster, they can confidently enter the season and fight for all the titles.
Two no-Spanish players, by the way.
In the situation with Nico's transfer, the ball is in Barcelona's half. Laporta, make it happen.
So we'll see what Joan Laporta does do. I think right now it comes down to mainly the structure of the deal to pull this off. Of course, the release clause is going to be 60 million, quite a bit to play up front. We can't really play in installments, so we have a bad relationship right now with Athletic Club, with the Negre case and all that stuff that's happening. But this video, I think, does very, very well describing how he'll fit, his movement in behind, his impact on the play, how he'll impact the system, the squad, make us stronger. There's not one thing that she said that wasn't correct in this video, maybe apart from a few minute details in terms of rumors. But again, the Nico Williams signing, we all know, we've been talking about now for almost a year and a half. It is just too perfect to pass upon. And now that we're back in this race, hopefully this summer will be the last summer and we can secure it, just like we did with Henry in 08 and just like we did with Antoine Griezmann in 2020. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the video. If you agree with the points that she mentioned, if there's any point that we forgot to mention as well, leave me all your thoughts down in the comments below. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.